Ciao, welcome back to the channel. I'm Luca, your Android developer, and in today's video I'll sum up for you what has been announced in the Choose session, what's new in Android and what's new in Android developer tools during Google I/O 2024. Both videos will be linked below and are live on the Android developer YouTube account. They are both around 30 minutes long, but I'll try my best to make your life way easier and make this video way shorter, just highlighting what's really important and what's coming next. Without any further ado, let's dive into this. What's new in Android kicks off by talking about AI. Quite predictable since the Enter Google I/O event was entirely focused on AI. They introduced the Gemini models, Gemini Nano, Gemini Pro, and Gemini Ultra. Gemini Nano is the most efficient model for on-device tasks. Gemini Pro is the best model for scaling across a wide range of tasks, while Gemini Ultra is the largest and most capable models for highly complex tasks. They then introduced 3 new layouts for building adaptive apps, which are Navigation Suite Scaffold, List Detail Pane Scaffold, and Supporting Pane Scaffold. They briefly talk about the new Android 15 beta, which enables edge-to-edge by default, predictive back gesture handling, but there's nothing new here. Moving on to Widgets Compose with Glance 1.1 brings new quality of life improvements for developers with previews and development time speed up. New camera API, specifically low light boost, Ultra HDR capture, stabilization, dynamic range, camera effect, and most importantly, Kotlin friendly APIs. Camera Viewfinder Compose gets into Alpha 1.0. About user privacy, the first thing they talk about is the new Android photo picker that doesn't require any runtime permission, allows the user to pick photos both from the device and the cloud, and also bundle enhanced search feature. Credential Manager gets a few more features to help the user use their credential seamlessly in all Android apps. It also now supports Wear OS. Wear OS, Android TV, and Android for cars have a few improvements announced, briefly enhancing the user experience and also the developer's experience to integrate a specific SDK, such as Health Connect and TV Material Catalog. With Android 14, handwritten recognition was introduced and is now automatically supported in text field, edit text, and text input fields in web views. But if you're using a custom view to handle user inputs, you'll need to start supporting it on your own. The Compose compiler will now be bundled with Kotlin releases starting from Kotlin 2.0. You will need to add a new plugin to every Gradle file that uses Compose. They also spoke about strong skipping mode, which was already introduced in one of the latest Now in Android edition, alongside improved performances. Shared element transition are now supported with Jetpack Compose, and they have support for predictive back gesture as well. Text can now handle rich context, links, and basic HTML format. I wonder which tags are supported for now. They haven't mentioned any of them. Kotlin Multiplatform is now officially supported with initial focus for business logic, but also collection, view models, data store, and room, which is now in alpha, are already supported. Gemini AI comes in Android Studio. That's not new, it's been there for weeks now. And at last, Android 15 Beta 2 is now available. It is since the day after of the video, so from May 17th. And that was all for what's new in Android. Hope you enjoyed my summary, and again, you can find a link to the full 40 minutes long video in the description below. Let's go ahead and move into what's new in Android development tools. Kicking off with updates in Android Studio. The first part is about past update, Hedgehog and Iguana. All features and updates we've already seen, but nonetheless a good recap. The latest release decreases the memory-related crashes by 33% and resolved more than 900 bugs. Android Studio Koala is now available in the Canary channel. The first new feature of Koala is called Sticky Line, which keeps the scope as a sticky header on top of your focus window, allowing you to know where you are in your code. The second feature is inline breakpoints. We're all aware of the pop-up windows that appears when you're trying to toggle a breakpoint on a line that has lambdas in it. Now the default is set to the entire line, but you can go and individually toggle breakpoints inside the lambda if you need to. One of the other features coming is cable speed recognition. When you connect a cable to use your physical device as a debugger, it will recognize the cable speed and warn you if there is an option to speed up the data transfer to the device with a higher speed cable. Now, one of the features I'm most excited about, it's called device setting shortcuts. A new pop-up windows in the device stream window that allows us to toggle a few commonly used settings on the attached device without going into the setting of the physical device and changing them. Much faster and easier this way. Detaching the device will reset all the changes made, and there's also a reset setting button in the window. Layout Inspector now allows us to import and export snapshot, and there's also a new yellow highlight that tells us that Compose is performing a recomposition on the specific highlighted area. About previews, we have a new grid for previews, which will be the default, and there will also be a gallery view available. UI check is also mentioned, allowing us to run what they call lint for UI, so UI checks on our previews. A really detailed explanation of baseline profile and how to create a baseline one is then done. The app profiler gets a new design, task-oriented instead of being organized by tool, and it looks sick to me. I really like it. They mentioned the option we have to give Gemini access to our code, which is now a setting in Android Studio and can be chosen project by project, or you can opt in or out by default for every project. With that, they introduce a new file, .aiexclude, which works as a git ignore file but for Gemini. And in this file, you can specify which files of the project you're in Gemini can or cannot access. AI can now also generate test scenarios for us, not test, only scenarios, but it's still a huge time saver, and if you have a big class and want to create all the test scenario possible to cover all the usages of that class, it's gonna be handy. Then the focus shift to Firebase. There is a new release monitor dashboard which allows us to take a look at our app's metrics in real time. Another new feature is data insight, which gives us an easier to understand information about the where and the what of a crash. A Generate AI Insight can generate a summary of the crash, giving you recommendation on how to debug, find and resolve the issue in a step-by-step solution. It also gives you the best practices on how to keep a certain bug gone for good. With the embedded in Android Studio app quality insight, the crash log now recognizes if your code is different from the one that causes the crash, and it's so able to add a show diff button that allows you to see the difference of the culprit file between your current version and the version that causes the crash. Following, they showcase how you can rent a device from the Firebase device streaming service, reminding us that when we release the device, it will be entirely wiped out and nothing from our session will persist into the next one. This session then concludes by talking about how, for now and going on, the release schedule for Android Studio will change, switching to multiple drops. The first one will be with IntelliJ IDEA platform releases, followed by a feature drop from the Android team specific for Android Studio. A really nice session, full of new things to take a look at and experiment with. A few of the new Android Studio improvements, such as the sticky line and the device setting shortcuts, are really bangers in my opinion, and I can't wait to try them out. What are your thoughts about this session? What are you most excited about? Let me know in the comment what you can't wait to try on your own device during your own development time. And yeah, until the next time, peace.